Hello. Hi, Debbie here, QHHT practitioner, level 2. I did a self-hypnosis where it was basically about child abduction by ETs. Wasn't anything scary, or it wasn't something that I recalled until I went under a self-hypnosis. I decided to do self-hypnosis again, not expecting to have a kind of continuation, but basically it is related in a similar way, but more from the perspective of the ET, I think. I can't remember, to be honest, but I'm going to play this and I'll listen and I'll come back at the end. Okay.
Where is it you find yourself now? Explain that to me. I'm in a kind of dark landscape, but every so often flashes of light appear a little bit in the distance, and they're attracting me to move and see what this light is coming from. It almost feels a little bit like a beach, to be honest, at night time, because it is quite dark. And there are like caves and like rocks maybe to the left. And I'm walking along a kind of beach, and to the right is the sea. The moon is out, and it's kind of the water is almost an inky black color, but the moon is making this beautiful white kind of pattern in the water, and it's very beautiful. And then again, the white light just appears and just kind of flashes from nowhere in the distance and lights up the whole place. But it's only for a brief moment, and then all becomes dark again. As I'm walking, and it flashes again, I see other random people walking along the beach also. It's hard to tell at this moment because it went dark again whether the people are walking in the same direction as me or whether they're walking towards me. I continue walking, and I notice that some of the people are walking away from it, and they're walking with a bit of speed in their step, and it's dark again, and the flashes of light, and it's almost most of the people are gone. I continue to where I'm seeing this light, and it's a kind of ship. The light is coming from the ship, and the light is staying on now, and it's quite bright. It's shining in my eyes a little, and I feel it's okay for me to enter this ship. There are like some steps, so I climb up the steps, and as I go in, there are two ETs there to welcome me. I notice that I am also an ET. Again, I'm kind of grayish, silvery grey. I'm not as tall as the ETs I used to see when I was a child. So I walk inside and there are others. It's quite a big ship. They are just getting on with their business. I go to one of it's a kind of panel into a space. I put my finger on the panel, it opens, I walk inside, and there are others. They are around a child. The child is on table, kind of metal, like stainless steel, also kind of table. And that table comes up from, if we touch the panel, anything can happen in there, so it brings the panel up. If we want it down, we touch it, it brings it down. This child she appears to be sleeping, as they normally are when they come to visit. They do so intentionally, but they don't really understand that is the case. We normally wipe their memories before they go back so they don't remember. This one, they've kind of helped on board because she is constantly talking to us. She stands and talks to us through her kind of window at night. She stands and wills us to come. And so we do. She comes because she is one of us, but she's having a human experience. She comes back because part of her does not want to be on the earth. When she comes, she always wants to stay. But obviously she's got a contract to be on the earth. Sometimes we have to explain that to her. And she's quite a cute kid. She's not really like the other kids. When she meets her friends, she almost wants to tell them about her experiences because she feels something happens, but we clear her memory. But still she knows something happens. She's not quite sure what. But when she goes to bed at night, she gets out of her bed and she stands at the window and she wills us to come. So we do. Sometimes we send her mother to her Arcturian mother, to pacify her and let her know that we are still around and that she's not alone. She doesn't like the idea of school She doesn't like the idea of eating. She's used to not eating, so she has a hard time when she goes back and is given earthly food, which she just doesn't like. She doesn't feel it's necessary. And it's not particularly necessary. We are nourishing her as she comes back to us each time. This one doesn't really want to stay on the earth, and each time she comes back, she kind of wants to renegotiate her contract. And we try to explain. We let her have fun. We let her come back and have fun and enjoy being with us. And she's quite comfortable being with us. It's while we upgrade her. It's while we try to take away some of the memories of her being here in other, what people would call lifetimes, but they are not separate. So now, okay, so I am the version of her in this lifetime. So I'm the version of her in a higher dimension as an ET being. So she sits up on the table, and we again explain to her that she's not supposed to wake. I can't put a physical smile on my face, but inside I feel smiling at her. Me being what would be called the ET, I feel the smile. I feel the warmth for her because she's a part of me that's doing her human, taking on her human role. And I sit on the bench actually with her. My legs are hanging over the side and she's sitting on the bench. And I'm trying to explain to her, you're back here again, you're awake again, you're not supposed to be awake. You're supposed to spend more time on earth. You're supposed to do what it is that you're doing on earth, and that's the hefty experience that you need to have. And she's telling me that it's boring and she doesn't like school. She doesn't like food. And I'm trying to tell her that she's not going to be... she's saying she preferred the place where she used to live, where in her human life there was a garden and she could have fun outside in the garden. She was always digging and playing in the river and doing lots of things actually in nature, connecting with the animals, connecting with the waters, connecting with the trees. And she's trying to explain that now she's living in a big building. It's like a little bit like a tower block. And she's saying it's concrete. And she's saying even all the steps all the way up, they're all concrete. Everything is concrete. It's a concrete building. And she's upset because she can't feel the connection to the earth that she used to feel where she lived before. Because it was a little house kind of in the forest with her parents. And she was able to spend so much time in nature. We're explaining that that place that she is quite temporary, but that she's there for a reason. And she's just continually complaining that the concrete is just, it's blocking the signals that she needs. So, okay, so we didn't realize that. So she's given us that as a feedback. She's saying she does go outside, but it's a long way down the steps, and she goes outside and she does play. She plays a lot, collecting insects and bees and things and talking to them. And she puts them in the jar first, and then she waits until they are slightly pacified, and then she opens the lid and they remain, and she communicates with these. And I mean, that is why she is part of her life, is to connect in this way. But she's saying that the time is too short. As soon as she's there, she's called in for her dinner. And then she doesn't really, she's still so connected to us that she doesn't really need food. She doesn't really need nourishment, and she is being almost, she feels force-fed, and she's just saying, this is just not fair. It's just not fair. I don't want this stuff. She said, I've had many experiences where I don't need to eat, experiences in other lifetimes that I don't need to eat, and I'm being made to eat, and I don't like this stuff, she's saying. And we're saying, okay, we're going to try and connect with your mom to let her know that it's better to just let you be with the food, and that you will eat a little, but let mom know that it's okay. You're not gonna starve to death if you don't eat it. We say we'll try to tell mom that in her sleep time, and it will get a little easier. And we're saying that we will also get mom to work on trying to move to another place to live, which is a little closer to nature. We'll say, we say that this is in hand, so I'm explaining that to her as a little girl while she sits on the table. Now she really is protesting. So that's why when she comes here, we take her to see other things and what the future is going to be like and everything else. We let her know that we're always with her. We show her a lot about the future. But we say that when she goes back, she won't remember this. Because she can't remember this, because then she will not be able to have the human experience that she's signed up for. But we just reassure her when she comes in her sleep time, and then we pop her back, and then within days she's standing there at the window again, like basically calling us, and she can connect with us. She connects with us through light language, although when she comes here to the ship, it's not necessary any language, because we can connect telepathically. But when she is back in near her window, she speaks in light language, calling the different ET races where she has had experiences, and we are the ones who are picking it up the most. We recognize the language. We are an Arcturian race. We don't really have bodies as such, but we appear in this form so that she can have the experience that she desires, and that is to be back amongst her people. Okay, when I do this, she's more pacified. We relax her again. We explain we're going to pop her back in her body, and that she will move to a different location. Food won't be such an issue, and we explained to her that actually she's going to get to an age a little older where she's going to need the food, because her body will be going through changes that humans go through, called puberty, where they need more food. So we're explaining that she will actually start to need the food. At this stage, she doesn't really need it, and we say, you're going to like the food, it's going to be okay. She kind of raises her eyes like, she's a kind of quite feisty little thing, but she's cute. Right, so every time she lies down, we go to stroke her hair as to kind of pacify her. And she sits up again with another little like, oh, and by the way, she doesn't like her teacher either. She said school is boring. The only thing she likes about school is they've got I think she's shown me a worm farm on the side. They've got a rabbit in a cage. She doesn't think it should be in a cage. It should be free. She said sometimes when she goes in the morning, she opens the door and sits at her desk, and then she said the rabbit doesn't want to come out until she starts to communicate with it, and then it comes out, and then it causes chaos in the class. She said that bit's fun, but she said apart from that, it's just so boring. We have to sit at a desk all day. I don't really listen. I do my daydreaming. She said the teacher hits her on the hand with it looks like a ruler stick. She said she doesn't like this. She said she does nothing to deserve this, that just her teacher comes in angry and takes it out on all of the children. We say we will talk to her teacher in her dream time, and things will get easier in school. We say in time she will be in another school, and that we will send teachers that have got forms in this space, this current space where we are now, and that they will be more understanding, and that she will sense that they are on a similar task on Earth. She seems happy with this. She lies down now. We stroke her hair. We reassure her that things are happening behind the scene. We've explained to her a little bit more about her role on Earth. And we pop her back into her earthly body. She always seems to go in a bit of, it feels a bit sudden to her, and she wakes and calls. And usually one of her parents goes into her room. It's become a regular occurrence. But we've put her back in her earthly body now. And we'll leave her to do that. But while we are here on this ship, it's, to be honest, we don't need a ship, but when we bring our counterparts from Earth here, the only way that they can really understand with the limited knowledge that they have is to appear as ET-like, is to appear in a ship. And it is in that way, but really we are just a consciousness. So it is the mind that creates these experiences. The human mind creates these experiences. It is just a vast consciousness that is so vast, and it is all connected. It is part of the earthly being's consciousness also, because we are all one. It's quite nice being a part of this consciousness. We have a connection with all of the earth. We can see the inhabitants. We mainly see them as light, because that is what they are. But we can tune into the earthly bodies that they give themselves. They are just images, but for the purpose of being on Earth, they need to believe these images. It's just an image that is created through the mind. But from our perspective, they are all just lights, just beautiful lights, all kind of shining at different degrees, some brighter than others. It's just like a big flickering light we see when we look to the earth. all these beautiful beings that don't know how, precious and special that they are, because they are just having their human experience. A lot of them are just not happy having this human experience, but the thing is, it's part of their contract. It's what they agreed to do. So sometimes when we take them here, it's to reassure them. They don't all particularly wake like this young child, Debbie, does. Most, it's their consciousness that travels here to connect with our consciousness. And we just reassure them of their roles. Some wish to renegotiate their contracts, and some, when they do this, they drop their body, because it is possible to renegotiate your contract, but it is not with us. It is not what you would consider the ETs to be. It is the higher source. We're all connected to the same source, so the negotiation would be with a source. But in the case of Debbie, we can kind of do that on her behalf, because Debbie's having the experience on Earth. Her counterpart, myself, her counterpart, Arcturian counterpart, is having the experience as just a higher consciousness. And this higher consciousness can connect more easily with Source. And that's how we can, help renegotiate the contract. Now, in Debbie's case, she wasn't renegotiating the contract to drop the body. It was just, she was finding it a little bit difficult to do the things that she was saying was boring, like school and eating, her teachers, sometimes her parents not understanding her need to be in nature. She was saying her parents, not being happy when she comes in covered in mud every day because she wants to sit and make mud pies. Things like that. Just the kind of things that children, this is common with children, to be honest. It's not that she's any more special than any of the other children. It's just she is pretty good at coming back to negotiate. She actually wakes up, sits up. That's the experience that she has. The others, it's more just like our consciousnesses merge. But with Debbie, she creates the actual experience. And sometimes it's hard for us to take away that memory. And that's why, as an adult, those memories are starting to return, and those memories will start to return for everybody. It's that time now. It's just they need to figure out what to do with those experiences. And that's part of what Debbie is doing at this time. We are always connected. There's nothing for her or any others to worry about. This is all good. It's a time people have been waiting for, where they're starting to get back their memories. There are many more memories to come for the people on Earth. And those memories are starting to flood through. It's cold on the earth, the thinning of the veil. Things are beginning to make more sense. People are starting to understand why the earthly lives are beginning to feel very false and very upsetting for many. Debbie is quite happy because she is still very much connected to nature. This helps because we and Source can communicate through nature to the beings on Earth. It helps when they are still. It helps when they are not distracted by the media, by all that is happening on the earth. They need to just try to be still, not pay too much attention to it. The things that are happening are not for everybody to experience. It's for the ones who need that. It will all start to fall in place for many, many people, that they are just having a human experience. They will learn to not react in such a way. They will learn that they are all connected, and that when they, point a finger or are angry at other beings on the earth, that it is just aspects of themselves. They'll begin to understand that the only way to change the earth that they are on is to change themselves. If they are not enjoying an experience, they need to find where they do that themselves in some way, correct that, and they will correct the earth, the version of earth that they see. Many are seeing the more beautiful version of earth now that they have themselves also been creating. There's so much more amazingness to be seen by the consciousness that is on earth, and together they will all get there. In the meantime, their counterparts in positions such as ours are helping, but it's because we are them. So as we help them, we help ourselves. Not particularly this version of ourselves, because the version of myself that is speaking now is an Octurian being. But as I help myself on earth, the version that Debbie is, I help myself because I bring that version closer to me, and as we all work up the kind of chain, we become closer to Source, where we have come from. Okay, we will end this transmission now. And we know that Debbie has recorded this, and she will most likely share.
Well, to be honest, I recorded this about 2 weeks ago, and I kind of forgot about the end bit. I remember the child bit, and that's what I was concentrating on. In fact, that kind of helped kept me busy because I was researching about my teacher and where I used to live because I kind of forgot a little bit about this. And when they said that they would speak to my teacher, I I found out that she became a nun. When I the buildings where I used to live, they were demolished. Um, hmm. I think I'm definite. Well, I am sharing this. I'm recording this for YouTube. I think this is really kind of pretty amazing information. And I think, well, I know we're all connected in this way. So I think this is part of contact in a way. Okay, much love. Thank you. I'd love some comments if or likes or whatever. Thank you. Bye bye.